So here's the big question I was asking myself and players and coaches on the team. It's the Passover question. What makes this team different? Why is this 49ers team so good when last year's 49ers team was so bad, considering last year's team had Nick Bosa and Fred Warner and George Kittle and Brock Purdy and Kyle Shanahan, and they were 6-11. What do you think is the biggest difference about this team?
Okay. First of all, it's hard to answer that one. You asked Kyle, and as I'm regurgitating what you said, he said they had a problem getting over losing in the Super Bowl, that they were instantly trying to get back to it, and somehow that hurt the team effort, which was really a way of criticizing himself, because it's really his job. It's his job to get them to focus. So I believe that's true. Okay? I believe part of it was, I'm going to use a cliche, which I hate, a Super Bowl hangover, that bullshit. I'm going to move on from it. That may be 50% of it. Iggy, I am not down there with the team, but I know what I observed from a distance, and I covered a lot of football games and a lot of 49er teams. I think there was a bad atmosphere on the team last season. I think there was a bad feeling. And I'm going to say, Ira Miller says you only know up to 15%. So this is the 15% I know. Deebo Samuel was a load. He was a load. Not only the way he performed because he was fat and couldn't catch the ball, he was a load on the roster. He was a load in the locker room. He became a me-first player as opposed to a 49er. And he was a key guy, and that hurt. And then he went after the long snapper. I would have suspended him if I were the coach. Part of the issue was that Kyle was slow to respond. You want to do that? Get the hell out of here. We'll see you in a game, after another game. You don't act like that. Ayuk was beginning to become a pain in the ass at that time. That was with the shorts, where he defied the coach in front of the whole team. What a message. And again, I'm not going after Kyle today. I think he's in the running for coach of the year, but you're wearing the wrong shorts. Get the hell out of here. Get the hell out of here. Not like change your clothes here.
No, that's what Harbaugh would have said. He would have said, get out of here. Yeah.
So would Singletary.
Yep.
So they were NFL players. This coach wasn't. Get the hell out of here. Bill Walsh would have told him to get the hell out of there. How dare you show me up like this? Who do you think you are?
Because that's essentially what Brandon Ayuk was doing. It wasn't that he was expressing himself with different shorts. He was showing up Kyle in front of the whole team. Look what I can get away with.
Yeah.
Something trivial.
Yeah.
Significant. Yeah.
Yeah. So those are two things, Iggy. Those are two things that I think there was a bad atmosphere in that locker room. And I'm going to tell you something else. I got two more. And this again is on Kyle. Who the hell was the defensive coordinator?
Nick Sorensen.
Iggy, he may be a very nice man. I never met him, but he was not up to that job. No. He was not. Their defense was excruciating to watch. They don't have really good defensive players now, but they have a guy, the worst, but they have a guy, Salah, who knows how to work it, who knows how to get out of them what he's capable of getting out of them. In addition, Iggy, their special teams coach was no good. And we forget these things, but their defensive coordinator and their special teams coach were inadequate. And so these are four elements that are on the head coach, Iggy.
I'll completely agree. You nailed it all. I mean, the special teams has just been so good for the Niners. They sort of gift wrapped the Niners 7 points early in the game yesterday when they were losing. But I think what all the things you said, if I had to summarize it in a theme, I think it had to do with like a lack of leadership last season stemming from Kyle. Like, he had a terrible year and it was all on him. And we saw like the culture sort of come apart at the seams with Debo and Ayuk, and there was probably more that we didn't even see. This year, I asked Kittle the same question, and what did he talk about? He said Robert Saleh and Gus Bradley, the assistant head coach. And I think it's such an interesting answer because Robert Saleh, you mentioned what he does for the defense, great defensive coordinator. But what's also nice about Robert Saleh is that he has head coaching experience. He is a head coach. Gus Bradley was a head coach. So instead of having Kyle be the only leader, the only true leader of men in the building, now you got three of them, and they're all different, and they can reinforce Kyle. Because look, Kyle's really a really, really good coach, but we know his shortcomings, and it doesn't have anything to do with X's and O's. It's more the leadership stuff. And it's great that he has Robert Saleh and Gus Bradley supporting him, because now it feels like it's not necessarily an issue with this locker room anymore.
I love it, Iggy. So you sort of agree. And I think that's the difference between what we've mentioned between an 11 loss and an 11 win team. Those things.
Yeah. Yeah.
Iggy,
As long as
have
Kyle
you
Shanahan has a defensive coordinator who has a head coach's temperament and leadership ability, he's going to be okay. I don't know that he can ever develop it as well as maybe Sean McVay has it, but he had DeMeco Ryans. He discovered Robert Saleh. Like he messed up with Nick Sorensen, but he's done a very good job bringing in the highest quality defensive coordinators and head coach uh, types.
have you met Gus Bradley?
I have, they have those 2 group interview per year, and he was there. He was very upbeat and expansive. I know that Robert Saleh adores him, and he essentially was Robert Saleh's mentor. Brought him over to Jacksonville when Saleh was a quality control guy with Seattle,
Does
and now Saleh's repaying the favor.
Iggy? I've never met Gus Bradley, and I never will. So I'm going to ask you this: does he seem to have depth?
Yes, absolutely. I absolutely yes. Beyond football, yes,
You need people like that.
yeah. Because Kyle is so great on football, but it's nice to have some more.
Yeah, and Salah has more as well. He has a
Yes.
larger he has a larger screen, uh, and that's and okay.
What Kittle said about Bradley in particular, I was so surprised that he even brought him up. He says Bradley often gives a speech to the team the night before the game, and he said it's often has nothing to do with football.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah,
Iggy, that would be something to pursue. You could ask
yeah.
Kittle, would it be
What
okay
are
for you
some
to
of the
tell me? And Nate, tell me about one of the speeches if you don't feel you're violating a privacy.
because isn't that something that Bill Walsh used to do? Like, wouldn't he show fights and be like
Abs-
and relate it to
yeah,
the matchup?
he would indeed. And sometimes on Thanksgiving, this I know, he would sit, these were the 49ers, and he would sit them each at the locker, during the week, and he would go around the room and say, each of you tell me something you feel thankful for. I know he did. And it didn't have to be about football. So, Bill, in certain ways, had great wisdom. In certain ways, he didn't and could be petty and silly, but he was capable of great wisdom. And I think that affected how the team thought about itself and how it performed. I do.
Well, I think we both came to the same conclusion that Robert Saleh has a big impact on what was lacking on this team last year, and Kyle Shanahan gets a ton of credit as well for bringing in Robert Saleh and understanding that that's what he needs to balance him out. It'll be interesting to see what happens to Robert Saleh after this year. If he leaves again, do they make Gus Bradley the defensive coordinator? Could he fill those shoes? Uh, we're getting a little ahead of ourselves, but I think we both agree that Robert Saleh is pretty crucial to the balance of this whole operation.
I would add, Iggy, I want to give Kittle credit. Sometimes I don't take him seriously because I think he's an actor a lot.
Hmm.
I don't know who he really is, but he was bright enough and sensitive enough to mention Gus Bradley,
Yep.
i.e., leadership. That's what he was talking about. He wasn't knocking Kyle, but he was talking
No.
about leadership. So it shows when he's in that in meetings and around the team, he's observant. He's probably observant in a way some others aren't because he's a little older, a little more experienced. So I give him credit for that, and he gave a good answer that we learned from.
Compare the way the Niners treated Debo last year, tried to placate him unsuccessfully, to the way they're handling Jawan Jennings this year. Debo was a problem the whole way through, and it never got better. Jawan had a little bit of a problem early on, was a little disgruntled. Now he's red hot. He's got his season together, and he's back on track to make a lot of money this offseason. He's helping the team. I mean, if that's either growth from Kyle or the influence of Saleh and Bradley, or both.
You know what I would call it, Iggy? Tough love.
What? Tough
It's
love.
tough love.
Yeah.
And
There wasn't
these
enough of
are,
that last year.
holy mackerel, was there not enough? Sometimes you've got to say, Debo, this is the limit. You went over the limit. You go it again, you're out. And competitors respond. And if they don't respond, you get rid of them. That's the
Yep.
deal. But you do tough love right then and there.
Speaking of tough love, I just saw this, but did you see what Steve Kerr did to Draymond Green last night?
I read about it. Tell me about it.
I don't know. They got into it in the huddle, and Steve Kerr seemed like he was giving him some tough love, and Draymond Green just got up and walked out, and then came back later, and Kerr refused to put him back in the game, and they blew out the other team. I thought that was kind of overdue.
Uh, I covered Steve Kerr, and I really admire him. It's funny,
Yeah.
he and I never got particularly friendly, but that doesn't matter. I really admire him, and I
Mhm.
admire what he did. Draymond Green's a pain in the ass. He's a pain in the ass, and I'll tell you right now, I don't need to be there. Every ref in that league hates him because he makes them
Yeah.
look bad, and he does, and he makes their jobs tough. And Steve's bright. Steve is really smart. He knows that. And every once in a while, you've got to say, I'm running this team, not you. You get with the
I
program
mean,
or go in the locker room.
yeah, it seemed like he could have done it 6 years ago, but he finally did it now, and it was interesting to see Draymond Green just walk away like a teenager or something. It's nice to see there's some tough love. There's some good coaching going on in the Bay right now, and it's great to see Kyle Shanahan really be at his absolute best this year, when I felt like last year he was at his lowest. It's good to see him bounce back.
Iggy, again, I don't know these people, but it's possible that, again, 85% of what goes on there, you don't know.
Mhm.
Maybe there's more tough love going on, like with Ayuk or with Jennings. It may not be Kyle who's doing it. It may be
Maybe
Bradley.
Kyle got some tough love from the organization this offseason. Maybe
I
there's just
love
a
what
whole
you
theme of tough love from the top down. "Hey, Kyle, we love you, man, but we're not gonna be re-signing a bunch of these people, and you're gonna have to coach your way out of this freaking hole." And he did.
Yes. So he, you're smarter than I am. So there is a theme of tough love that
Yep,
not only did Kyle need to give it, he needed to get it.
yep. And now the
Oh
whole
God.
team is better for it. The whole
Yeah.
team is better for it.
I owe you a nickel for that
Juwan
insight.
got tough love, and he's better for it. He's happier
Yeah.
for it. His career is better for it. He
Yeah.
was trying to follow Ayuk's example, like it worked for him. No, it didn't. No, it didn't. Don't do that.
Yeah. You're
Anyway,
absolutely right, and I love it. I hope someone from the organization watches this little part of it.
it was a
Tough
good part.
love.